Merry Christmas. When we think of Christmas, our first reflection is on Jesus in Bethlehem, born in a manger with Mary and Joseph, the angels, the Magi, and the shepherds tending their flock. But our celebration of the Christmas season includes the threat of his life and the killing of the innocents, the Holy Family's flight into Egypt, the presentation of Jesus at the temple, and this scene of Mary and Joseph finding Jesus in the temple. All of these scenes, including this one, make up what is called the infancy narratives found in both the Gospels of Matthew and Luke. On this feast of the Holy Family within the season of Christmas, we read about Mary and Joseph's journey with Jesus to the temple in Jerusalem, and after leaving, they discovered that Jesus is not with them, but is found teaching in the temple. We read, "After 3 days, they found him in the temple, sitting in the midst of the teachers, listening to them and asking them questions, and all who heard him were astounded at his understanding and his answers. When his parents saw him, they were astonished, and his mother said to him, 'Son, why have you done this to us? Your father and I have been looking for you with great anxiety.' And he said to them, 'Why were you looking for me? Did you not know I must be in my Father's house?' But they did not understand what he said to them. He went down with them and came to Nazareth and was obedient to them." This watercolor painting by the French artist James Tissot in the late 1800s is found in the Brooklyn Museum. Many paintings simply find Jesus teaching in the temple, while Joseph and Mary are truly amazed, as are the leaders in the temple. This painting, however, shows Jesus returning from the temple with Mary and Joseph and almost leading them. Notice how Joseph and Mary are holding his outstretched arms. It's as if Jesus is already beginning his journey of self-surrender, as Joseph and Mary seem to place him under arrest. From this point on, Jesus will remain obedient as he begins his pilgrimage of self-surrender. But of course, Mary and Joseph also surrender to the will of God as they accompany the Lord on his pilgrimage. In this Jubilee year, promulgated by Pope Francis, we are invited to take a pilgrimage with Jesus our Lord. As the Pope opened the holy doors at St. Peter's Basilica, we are opening our hearts to begin a pilgrimage and procession into this Jubilee year of hope. One of Pope Francis' desires in this Jubilee year is for us to have a hope for peace. It is for this reason that in this Diocese of Phoenix, we open our Jubilee Year of Hope in 6 unique pilgrim sites: the Cathedral of St. Simon and Jude, St. Anthony in Sacaton, St. Mary's Basilica, St. Mary's in Kingman, Holy Cross Chapel in Sedona, and Sacred Heart in Prescott. Our Jubilee year begins with the planting of peace poles at each of our pilgrim sites, and after a prayer of hope for peace, we process into Mass, accompanying Jesus on his pilgrimage of self-surrender. My friends, Pope Francis urges us to have a hope for peace, but like Jesus in this watercolor, we must surrender, in our case, surrender to peace. Let us examine our hearts and ask ourselves as we begin this new year, how can we be bearers of peace rather than bearers of hostility or anger or bearers of an unforgiving spirit? True hope for peace requires a surrender to peace, the Prince of Peace, Jesus, our Lord. Let us make this pilgrimage of peace together. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.